Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're digging into Phantom Wallet, which, really became the wallet for the Solana ecosystem. Our mission is to chart the tension between its massive success and the very specific security claims we're seeing in recent court filings.
And that scale is really the place to start. I mean, Phantom just exploded. It was called Solana's golden child right after its launch in 2021. We're talking about 15 million users today. An estimated $25 billion is entrusted to the platform.
Wow.
Yeah, and user growth is up 150% since just 2023. It's phenomenal.
Okay, so that explosive success is what makes the other side of this so contradictory. It's a multi-billion-dollar platform, and yet its Trustpilot rating is a startling 1.5 out of 5 stars. It's just flooded with reports of funds vanishing and support being unreachable. And just a quick note, this is all educational commentary, not investment or security advice. So how do we square those user claims with their technical side?
Well, that's the fascinating part. The company clearly did invest in technical safeguards. I mean, they had independent security audits. Kudolsky Security gave them a score of 85. Lease Authority gave them a 65. They used strong encryption, like CHAD20 Poly 3305, and had malicious contract detection.
So you have these high-scoring technical defenses on one hand, but on the other, users are reporting, catastrophic losses. And this is where it all seems to pivot around one specific legal challenge, a lawsuit filed in New York in April 2025.
Right.
The claim is incredibly specific. It's not about general phishing. It's about a vulnerability that allegedly let a hacker pull a private key directly from browser memory.
And that takes us right to the core trade-off of any non-custodial browser-based wallet. It's a fundamental issue.
How so?
To sign a transaction, any transaction, the wallet has to load your private key into the computer's active memory for a moment.
Just for a second.
Just for a second. But that brief moment is the attack surface. It's vulnerable to malware designed specifically to scrape memory.
And the lawsuit alleges a loss of around $500,000 in tokens this way. It claims executives knew the private keys were exposed in browser memory, unencrypted, and just didn't act.
Yeah, and the court filings also point out that Phantom was allegedly missing some pretty basic countermeasures, things like velocity checks.
What are those?
They're just rules that flag or halt unusually large or fast transfers, things that major exchanges put in place years ago.
Right. It seems so simple.
It connects to the bigger picture of user responsibility in Web3. I mean, non-custodial means you are the bank. You hold the keys.
But the external risks are just relentless. We saw that reporting about fake Firefox extensions, right?
Oh, yeah. Flooding the Mozilla store for months. Many were running Russian-coded scripts just to harvest seed phrases. It's a constant battle.
So even with the convenience Phantom offers, the consensus from the security experts we reviewed is pretty clear.
It is. For any serious amount of crypto, hardware integration is basically non-negotiable. It's how you mitigate the risk that's inherent in any hot wallet that lives in your browser. So the lawsuit is still ongoing, and we don't have all the courtroom facts yet. But for you, the listener, the question is really, did the push for convenience and cool features maybe undermine the security architecture?
It seems that way. You see these efforts at advanced encryption, but then these alleged gaps in basic things like withdrawal limits. The convenience is great, but it puts this huge spotlight on the need for perfect user security. So here's the thought I want to leave you with. For a platform that processes billions, when does transparency become more critical than speed? Keep questioning everything. We'll see you in the next deep dive.